Welcome to another episode of Talk Therapy on Central City Radio. I'm your host, Shante Saulsberry. In today's episode, we're delving into a critical and often overlooked topic, relationship abuse from a man's perspective. We'll discuss the types of abuse men can experience, the challenges they face, and the support available to them. Our guest today is Brandon Mcfadden, a barber and community advocate who's dedicated to raising awareness about this issue. Welcome, Brandon.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure being here.
Definitely. So, Brandon, you've actually supported Janice's Women's Center a few times. You have spoken at an event.
Yes.
Tell me, how did that make you feel?
Oh, man, it was quite the environment to be in there. You definitely put me on the spot. No, I'm not lately I've been more of a public speaker, but that was definitely a different environment. And I felt like I was glad to be there because, it was a different balance that I brought to the table and different light that I was able to shed onto the situation. So, yeah, it was quite the experience, and I definitely gained a lot from it.
I love it. So what did you learn from being a part of Janice's Women's Center, especially hearing the stories from the ladies that had been victims of domestic violence? Now, a lot of the ladies spoke on abuse from men. Mm-hmm. I think there was one that had been abused by a woman, but predominantly it was men. So out of just hearing those stories, what went through your mind?
Many things, we're all in our shelter life. Like, we're not just out here being in everybody's closet, finding out what's everybody has going on behind closed doors. So to hear some raw, uncut stories and put faces with them and emotions and all that, behind it, it put it in a real perspective of like, damn, I survived some stuff, some stuff that could have went worse. And, to hear the different outcomes was quite it was encouraging, just to see that it's the power of the mind, just seeing how once you flick that switch and you just get tired of it, that it's just, it's time for you to walk into your new destiny and, your purpose. So I think the biggest thing was just realizing that it happens at different ages in people's life. So at that point, it seemed like there's a lot more older folks that, were waking up later. Mm-hmm. So, and normally you only go through that like once, so. Yeah, I think that was the biggest thing, just seeing how the age on the wake-up call.
Yeah. So a lot of the individuals, they suppress that pain. And so that could be the reason why they wake up later. We kind of flock to what's familiar. Mm-hmm. And so that is also a reason why the wake-up call is later. And so we kind of continue to run into the same relationships, not realizing that that's exactly what we were running from. But this looks good. This is what I'm used to. So I might be able to fix this one because I messed up with the last one. Or, this person just resembles everything that, again, I'm just familiar with. And so that wake-up call, it does happen later on. That's when boundaries are set and people do get fed up. Yeah. So you shared a little bit about your story in March event. And do you remember some of that story that you shared?
No.
No?
Whatever I put out there, anything I ever say, I don't take it back. So, I remember touching on a few subjects, but verbatim, no.
Okay. What were some of the subjects that you touched? They were relationship topics.
Did something jump out? Was it?
You shared in regards to just being a victim in not a major way. So what does a victim look like from your point of view? Being victimized or have been in an abusive relationship. And again, people don't understand what abuse is. They think always it's battered woman, bruises and blood from a woman screaming and running around. That's not necessarily true because we know abuse is emotional, psychological, financial. There's narcissistic abuse. There's so many forms of abuse. It's not just physical.
Yeah, heartbreaks is abuse, man. Y'all women be breaking hearts out here in these streets. So,
Breaking hearts, huh?
oh yeah.
So what does that look like?
Oh, that's pain. That's real. It just depends, how much invested you are. But it happens. As far as the subject, what I was touching on back when in the last speaking that we had, it was, I don't know, being on the forefront of having to do some public speaking. There's a lot of stuff that it's first time being said, so it's not, shit. I ain't getting paid for this, so. But if it's helping somebody else, progress and be like, damn, maybe, I'm not alone. So, I definitely got heartbroken many times, a few good times. I've broke one too many of myself, and, I just try to learn from it. But, I got 2 daughters for a reason, and I got my son. I earned my son, like they say. The old man told me.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot to be, just said throughout your journey that you just got to keep pushing. And I think, through my own testimony, that's, the hardest thing to just find that final path of where you're headed to and seeing that, okay, this is what I don't like. You put up barriers for stuff that, kind of throws you off, your comfort zone. So as you get older, you kind of just find yourself in a nice, pathway where you attract, that same type of energy.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's part of the hardest thing to get through and to receive. So, I think with my testimony, I've been definitely, like I said, my heart been broke. I started getting gray hair at 2 years old. So. Yeah, this ain't all. This is real, but I ain't that old. This is a lot of pain and suffering. So, I just had to keep going and knowing that people don't always find out what's on the other side of the pain. So, and knowing that's not when you're, like you say, knowing that you kind of sign up for things that's you overlook things, trying to chase the wrong thing, person. It helps mold you. But a lot of statistically speaking, a lot of people get stopped on their track because they feel like it's the end of the road. So, like I said, I feel like that's the hardest thing, to stay motivated and just knowing and having faith that there's something bigger and better waiting for you and the right person. That's pretty much it. So
men do hurt.
No, we hurt bad.
Men do feel
bad. We hurt bad. We carry it. We cut our hair off. We do all kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We like it's we're humans. There's no difference from a female's perspective. It's just on how do we correct them wrongs or people doing us wrong, and meeting somebody that's repairable or that's salvageable.
Yeah.
But we definitely go through a lot as men. But we learn, and it takes a strong woman to help mold a good man. Like I ain't had no sisters, so I didn't have no hands-on training as far as how to treat a woman. Definitely had to learn on the fly. I was expecting, a lot of women just to be traditional.
What does that mean? What does traditional mean to you?
Traditional. like
what's traditional?
The American just take care of your man, your king, and keep the house clean. Provide. You provide. It's not you don't have to be a true housewife, but just certain things shouldn't be a topic or issue or a thought process, like cheating, lying, not trusting.
No.
So I think when you have to worry about them factors when dealing with somebody, that just takes away from the whole growth process of what you should be talking about, 401k and vacations and kids and
Homes
and business.
Traveling and building together.
Yeah. So it's not easy for us as black cultures to even have them type mindsets, because we've been dumped into a situation that we got to swim our way out of.
So pretty much everyone is running on, it seems like, an area of unhealed. We all have some trauma from past relationships. Not a lot of us are doing the work to heal from that trauma, recognize some of that trauma.
Right.
So what does that work look like from a man's perspective? Because, females, we're all about it. We're just like, look, I ain't talking to nobody. I ain't dating this long. I'm not doing this right now. Like, it's all about me. I'm dating me and Jesus. We hear that a lot. So what does that look like for men?
Getting a haircut. Come see me.
At the cut.
760 5555. But no, it's hopefully you got a big brother, an uncle, somebody that can pump some courage into you to pick your face up and get the truck and be like, nah, man, it ain't over. So the healing part it definitely has to come from within. I can't speak for everybody, but generally speaking, it's always a spiritual thing. So it's something that's trying to get you to the right path. But to me, not so much on a relationship thing, but just pain in general. My healing came from letting the stress out, going exercising.
Yeah.
Not so much. I used to love basketball, but just letting. I got so much pain that I had to push it out. So it's sometimes push-ups ain't enough. Everybody has their own thing, but with me, I like to maximize and push myself to get to the next level. And exercising has been my go-to, my outlet, and church. Pastor Stewart, FIBC, definitely helps. Feed my mind, lets me know that when you go to a certain place or you hear that word, that gospel, you feel like they're talking to you.
Yeah.
So that's one of the strong points. But for me, it's the gym. Like, I think in the gym, you're going to realize in there, everybody trying to be somebody perfect, X figure and somewhat, but we all jacked up in the head. We're all trying to mentally get past something and heal. Yeah. So that's just one of the best ways to overcome and physically, mentally process things and let it out.
Okay.
So yeah, that's my go-to.
Have you ever been married?
No, I'm 0 for 2 on engagements.
Okay. What's your longest relationship?
6 years.
6 years. Your longest relationship.
Yeah.
Okay.
High school sweetheart, military.
Okay.
Dee.
So in that, in your relationship span of you just dating, whenever you started, how old were you when we started dating?
16?
16?
I mean, that's young puppy love. But no, I thought it was real. I ain't gonna say it wasn't, because she's a good woman.
Yeah. Did you have pain at 16 when you started dating?
Nah, not 16. I came in my 20s when we was trying to make the long distance relationship work.
Okay.
The military, and I wasn't trying to leave Arizona.
Okay, so you're from here.
Yes.
Awesome. Look at that.
Yeah, real native. Avenues.
So we've known each other for what, almost a year? About a year or so?
No, a couple years.
Yeah.
Yep.
So in the midst of us knowing each other, how much have you learned in regards to my passion for supporting victims of domestic violence?
Pretty amazing. I've been pretty. I mean, I don't meet too many people that are just hungry like you. So I've learned a lot can be done through one person.
Yeah.
With the right resources, the right game plan, you definitely, I don't know how long you've been out here, but you've definitely made an impact in the East Valley, and for the women culture and just in general. You're definitely answering some calls for needed purpose and service. So I've been inspired. So and also just not trying to leave you out there hanging, knowing that need some good quality support too.
Yeah.
So it's been good to have your back and watch you move, and help me get out my comfort zone too. And you don't know the stuff I've been through, but you like, there's something about you. You got it. I'm gonna get it out. But so you do your thing, and it's good to see you just keep pushing like this. You got a lot of potential, and I don't know where you're going with it, but you definitely hitting some corners.
Love it. So I love stopping by the cut, to see the guys, and I bring in the littles,
Yes.
that suffer from behavioral health, and just kind of seeing the little ones who have, they've been raped, and, they've been beat, and, they've experienced domestic violence, and you've got a chance to kind of sit down with some, cut their hair, and I vented like, oh my God, I need you guys. Like, they need men in their lives in order for me to actually thrive, to be able to help them, the young men in the program. So how was that kind of seeing that? And how does that make you feel when I bring them, to the cut?
I mean, that's real life in the flesh. I mean, like I said, I've got one life to live, and I don't want to waste it on I got 3 kids, so I can't have my kids in no environment like that. So the thought process of having to come in contact with somebody like that, like, you swap energy with people when you come that close to, being in a public place. So to see how strong that little boy was, or little people are to, overcome that type stuff, this just sticks with me. But at the end of the day, we got to show him and others that there's great people out here. Because I think in life we've all been done wrong, by some good people or some people that we trusted. So, it's just being in a barbershop and being a barber, you have to kind of be ready for the world. And it's never 2 days of the same in the shop. So it was, it felt good to be able to show him a different balance and how we're supposed to move as black men and strong men, and just be able to, shake his hand, raise his confidence by giving him a good haircut, little things that he'll remember later on, and he'd be like, that was a good place. Because me growing up, going to the barbershop, it was not a fun time. It was cigarette smoke in the air, long waits, gossip.
Right. They were slanging CDs. And
No, we talking before that.
even before that?
Before that, we talking about the Afro days.
Yeah, because when I was going, I was stressed.
No, I'm 80. I mean, I had an Afro, so we started going to Esquire Barbershop out here. Esquire that's the biggest shop. Was the biggest shop in the valley.
Okay.
Respect to George Greyhouse, Mr. Rest in peace. But he had an amazing business. All the Phoenix Suns players in there. Kevin Johnson. Remember them cold fades you see on KJ? Yeah, that was from Mr. Greyhouse. But
wow.
Yeah, it was Pac-Man in there, so it wasn't. It was more to see how different people move. Like you didn't. I wouldn't talk to my barber like that as a kid. I didn't have that confidence. So, me being in a position now, I have to learn to realizing that people cross my path for a reason, and I have to make the most out of it.
Yep.
So
with victims of domestic violence, the only reason why I started going into barbershops was because victims don't like going into barbershops. You know, that's scary for us because it's full of men. They're whistling and doing all that stuff, trying to holler. And a lot of the females, they're single women who are raising young men. So for me, that was when I started Genesis Women's Center. I was like, oh, shoot, I got to go into this barbershop. Like, I'm going to have to face my fears.
Yeah.
And so I did. 2 years ago, I went into a barbershop, and that might have been where you were at the time. I went to the barbershop, kind of faced some fears there. And then, of course, recently meeting you at the cut again. Now I'm able to just walk in there. It's not scary anymore. I still can't get a lot of the women to come in there with me, but they're still overcoming their fears. But as long as they see me going in there, eventually they'll follow behind. Like the mom, she can come in there now. And she is uncomfortable when she brings her son, but every time it gets easier. Even for me, it gets easier. Even though I know the men in there, it still gets easier every time. But again, when I first started going in, they were, slanging the CDs in there. They were drinking 8-Ball out front. They were gossiping and they were whistling. And, it was always like, hey, oh my, like it stayed going. It never stopped. So it was definitely a high level of uncomfortable. And so the cut doesn't have that vibe. That feeling is not there. Coming in there and you're always so professional. You're always willing to support no matter what. Whenever I asked, like you spoke at the BSU of Desert Vista for my daughter.
Entrepreneurships. Yeah.
Yes, I love that. And then, of course, coming out, doing the speaking, and then touching base like, hey, are you going to go give those haircuts for the kids back to school? And so that was a push, but I was so happy to see you in there giving back to the community. That was important, very important. So you do have some success within your barbershop and your barber skills and all of that. So what is that highlight?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's been a 20 over 2 decades of cutting hair in the Valley. And I just never imagined, being in the position I'm in, being watched the way I've been watched. It's, just, it's quite humbling to be appointed by the governor to be on the board for the barbershop and cosmetology for Arizona.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been quite a year. Excuse me, about 6-month process to make that happen, and I'm in there.
How does that make you feel? You're just always so humble. How does that make you feel? Like, are you excited? Are you happy?
How does
Like,
how does it feel to be on the government?
Yeah. Are you excited? Are you happy? You're always so humble. It's like every time I see you, I'm always like, Brandon, why are you so humble? Where you get that from? Why are you so chill?
It just hit me at the right time. I'm 43 now, so it couldn't have came at a better time. I can't say I've always been humble.
Yeah.
Oh no. I've been standing on top of roof cars and roofs and couches, and I've done my disrespectful stuff.
Okay.
But now when it comes to business, and always been when it comes to business, it's always been A1. And like I said, I just never realized that I was being in the public eye like that. So how does it feel to be acknowledged by the government? It's just God. It's just God, because I always had so much passion for the barbering, but for Arizona.
Right. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
You're serving your state.
Yeah.
I
said being inspired by first barber George Grayhouse, and then Mr. Mark Justice, Fade Type Barbershop on the South Side. He's always had his foot on the throat of the barber game. So me being 17, 18 years old, that was my competition. I like Kobe going against Jordan. But so without having that type of peak to hit, I would never reached where I'm at now, because it took a lot of energy, a lot of dancing through the storms. So I just, at the end of it all, I smile because I'm like, damn.
Are you smiling right now? Kind of humbly smiling.
Nah.
Okay. So, definitely going back to, that understanding of abuse. So what would you say to men that are experiencing or have experienced? How can they move forward in their healing? What's
the outlet for healing? It's, you just gotta talk to God, man. You can get bad advice from your friends, but if you're gonna seek knowledge from a person, just consider who the person is and what they've accomplished, where they're at, and what's their true ingredient to success, and it's gonna lead you to God. So you gotta have I realized that I started getting my most success and happiness when I stopped taking control of the wheel, just listening and walking that walk instead of trying to control my own destiny.
I love it.
Yeah, so
I love it.
But it's many versions to me. If I was to tell one of my clients, like, yo, he crying boo-hooing to me about this and that, like, yo, go get you something good to eat, go get you some new clothes, you got your hair cut, take you a trip, buy some water, get some, soak your feet in the sand, do some earthing and all that, and you got to just start a new chapter. And there's just more chapters to be written in your book. So I'm definitely a testimony to many chapters. And, to be, like I said, on this government side, I'm like, yo, anything is possible.
It is. Definitely. So, Brandon, are you still healing?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I'm happy. Do I still have trust issues? Yes, but I got good companion in my life, and it's not I don't have to worry about certain things, like so it's. But I still in the gym 4 or 5 times a week, so I got different. I'm healing from losing a best friend in a violent way, so I'm always going to be trying to heal from that. Remain Brisbane, rest in peace, sir. We're all working process, so in progress, but it's never ending. As soon as you think you made it and relax and celebrate, some more stuff is gonna happen. So it's best just to stay ready and just make it a lifestyle of being on the right track and living a good, happy, healthy life.
Okay.
I think that's a true part of healing. Like, you ain't looking back, going back to the misery part. So I don't move like that. So I want to say I'm 85-90% healed up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to keep pushing you, right?
What you talking about?
I'll keep pushing you, getting you out here in these streets so you can support our community.
Oh, yeah.
Try to get more advocacy inside the barbershops, pushing the mental health for our children, for our community, just for our adults, so we can heal, so we have people to talk to. Like you said, you are community. People coming into the barbershop, they see you. When they're going through something, it's like, man, I'm about to go get a haircut. They sit down in your chair.
Yeah.
And, they want to be vulnerable. And you end up being, that therapist, for that 30-minute haircut.
Yeah, and I speak for all barbers, too, so it's just in our industry. But, yes, we definitely, as men, need good healing. good confident boosters, because sometimes situations ain't perfect. Moms might have been harsh on the kids, and you had to gain some confidence somewhere along the way. So
right.
Yeah, no, I definitely I enjoy it. Keep doing it as long as possible. I feel great, and trying to serve some purpose.
Definitely, you're doing that.
I appreciate it. Appreciate the acknowledgement.
Yes. Well, Brandon, thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah, my
it
pleasure.
Means a lot.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, so that is our closing. Please check out our notes as we wrap up this. There are several options here for men. There are, I'm actually connected with the 100 Black Men of Arizona. So there's plenty of resources through them. I'm connected with the Kappas and the Alphas. And so that's important. If you're ever looking for some events, please reach out to me. I can connect you with some of those guys as well. Brandon is where?
Cut Tempe, 780 West Elliott, Tempe, Arizona. Come on through. Holla at us. We got Terrence, Jermaine, E, everybody. We got a good solid crew. Get you right mentally, physically.
Definitely. And sometimes I pop through the cut, so you just never know. But I am Shante Saulsberry. I'm your host. This is Talk Therapy and on Central City Radio.